episode 19. We rejoin the party on the 15th of Critium. How's everybody doing today?
Yay!
Good.
I'm here.
That's not such a happy tone. Also, yet again, the intro music, which I don't have set to repeat, is set to repeat by Roll20. Bizarre and annoying. Alright, so, who remembers how last week went?
I bought a pencil. A magical pencil.
Calpine bought a pencil.
I need my partner here.
Because you don't remember what you did?
I remember that we got attacked by some fairies, but we were able to run away. So the issue is we've been trying to help the refugees, but their food keeps getting intercepted, and it hasn't been able to be delivered. And so we went to Rurik, I think, to try and, at the direction of the cleric, to try and find out what was going on. And they, of course, said, oh, yes, we have guards checking everything all the time. Everything's fine. Except we hear that this keeps happening, but we don't know why. So, yeah, we're not sure what's happening.
Okay. And what happened in Harcourt's neck of the woods?
I'm planning a heist.
Alright. And what happened in Zug's home?
Well, I, got all the walls, doors, etc. taken care of, and, did some research on, getting anti-scrying stuff set up.
Right.
I like how we went from mundane to adventurous to clandestine to home improvement.
Yeah. We try to cover all the bases here in this show. There's a little something for everybody. The problem is, we've got a very limited amount of time to kind of compress all that into. So.
And then my headphones crapped out.
Can you not hear it? Oh, you actually froze up.
Oh.
That was pretty cool. James just did instantaneous transmission. All right. Can you hear us okay, James?
Yeah.
All right. So, where should we pick up from there? Harcourt, what kind of plans have you come up with so far for this heist?
What kind of plans have I come up with?
Yeah.
Well, there's that just walking through the front door like an a-hole thing I got going. I'm not exactly sure that's going to be real healthy. I'm going to need to go back and talk to some of my party. I may need a little assistant.
Okay.
Mostly because I don't do magic.
So you're going to make your way back to the party from when you were speaking with Mara in Zoe territory. Galfine, you purchased your pencil. Is there anything else you wanted to pick up from here? You should also get back 90 gold, by the way. As that is, all magical items are discounted by 10%, and that was a magical item, and we forgot to discount it.
Okie dokie.
So, is there anything else that you want to pick up?
Not currently.
Okay. So where do you want to go after your time here in picking up this pencil?
I think I'll probably just start heading back home.
Alright, and Pax, you and Meg had your conversation with House Rurik. You learned that they do have ways of looking into this, but all of their methods of looking into this have basically resulted in them finding no trace of any involvement of Feyre or any other evil people.
Yep. It's a good summary.
So, what do you want to do from here?
I mean, I guess we need to go back and tell the clerics what we found.
Okay. Alright, so you will head back. When you get back to where the refugees are, you'll find the clerics there, hoping you have some good news.
Sorry.
What's-
We talked to the chief in charge there, but they said they're doing everything that they're supposed to, and they don't see anything bad happening, but they keep hearing the stories, so I don't know. I think there might be something magical or demonic going on.
Well, if what you say about the Feyre is correct, we know there's demonic activity. I don't know of any way, though, that things could obscure themselves from being seen by, like, simple investigation. I mean, I would assume that guards could just simply go through there and see there are people blocking the paths, like you said, right?
They said that they're checking and they don't see anyone blocking paths.
And you're
It's
sure you
very
saw them?
mysterious. The fairy?
Yeah.
Yeah, they attacked us. We got hurt.
How could
We
you
had to
see
run
it
away.
if guards don't?
I don't know. Is there something different about me and Meg? Is it because of our alignment?
I don't think so. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what your alignment would be. It's really kind of against policy to just check someone without asking.
Oh, okay.
But I'm assuming you're both good people, correct?
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
What would guards' alignment be?
Usually good. You don't normally see guards in anything other than good, or maybe perhaps neutral. Some form of law, often on the spectrum as well.
Yeah. Maybe it's because we're not lawful.
Perhaps, but normally demons are chaotic creatures. So it would be bizarre for a chaotic creature to disguise itself from itself.
I'm not chaotic.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's a bit of a it is traditional to see-
Stereotype?
yes, when we see people that play music, it is often that they align themselves with a bit of lawlessness, a bit of
No.
excessive freedoms, if you will.
No, I'm neutral. What do you think we should do next?
I'm not I'm not entirely sure. This is outside of the knowledge of anything I'm aware of. Do you have anybody
Sure.
who might know more about complex magics?
I don't know.
Hmm.
My buddy Meg has a temple that has fancy clerics.
Perhaps a temple might be of more assistance. I'm assuming you mean the temple to Sashat.
Yes. The fancy temple, I said that.
Perhaps you could speak with them. They might have some details on that.
Well, what do you think, Meg? Should we try that?
Meg says...
Oh no, graphics card.
I'm sorry. Meg says she's uncertain. It couldn't necessarily hurt anything.
Okay, well, let's do it.
Okay. While you are on your way that way, you will run into both Galfine and Harcourt on their way back to their homes.
Hey, y'all.
Hello.
And,
Hello.
Hi.
And as you're making your way back,
Oh god.
around that same point that you saw it before, the four of you notice that there are those two people standing next to a set of trees, and they start moving. I'm sorry. Yeah, they start kind of moving towards you. You notice they're not engaging you like they did last time. They're not shooting you by surprise. They're kind of stepping up from behind the trees and moving towards the four of you.
Are they people or fairies?
They are fairy. From behind a
These
tree, it's hard to tell until they come out.
These friends of yours.
No, we got attacked by fairies earlier.
I suggest you head home. Your additional support here won't help you get through.
Were we going somewhere we were not home? Out of
You're
curiosity?
going to pick up the food for the refugees. I'm going to need you to head on back. Your services to them are unnecessary.
Why don't you want the refugees to have food? Everybody deserves to eat.
Spoken like your kind would think. Everybody deserves to eat. You deserve to eat. I want to eat. I want to eat. Oh, typical goblin.
No, it's more about social rights for everybody. It's a basic right that every being should have the food that they need.
No, those people don't deserve food. They're there for the reason that they're there. They ratted people out. They got what was coming
So
to
you
them.
think they should starve to death? That's very cruel of you.
Their need is no longer pertinent.
No, that's not true.
It is.
You're wrong.
Well, I don't see you doing anything about it, so you should probably turn back. I imagine if you go further down the road, things will only get worse.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. Maybe there's more of us waiting for you down the road.
Where are we on the map?
You are about here.
Nothing happened.
What'd you do?
I didn't do anything.
Oh, okay. Oh, can you see the map? There should be a...
Yeah.
Is the circle not coming up?
Nope.
Hold
No.
on. Maybe it's because I'm on the wrong layer. How about now?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. I didn't realize that pointing is layer-based.
And which way are we heading?
You are heading east. You are heading
Okay.
basically around and then into Narenhawk territory to where the temples are.
Oh. So,
Hi.
so my little fairy friend here, if we turn and head south, would you have an issue with that?
I would. I think the best way for you to go is home.
Can I try and use my charisma on him?
You can attempt to diplomacy if you
Oh,
like.
yeah, that's what I meant.
I mean, you'd have a problem with us heading back into Zoe territory?
Oh, if you want to go back to Zoe territory, that's fine. But your two friends here, they need to go home.
Don't
come
you
with
see
me.
how it's really in everybody's best interest for everyone to get fed? It'll lead to less conflict.
Ooh, nice roll.
Listen, I understand your motivation. I understand your desires, and they're important to you, right? That you find that to be a very important thing inside of yourself, right?
Yeah, they're for the common good.
Right, but I have a job to do, just like the guards would, and just like you feel you would. So unfortunately, I need to just simply advise you that it's not in your best interest to pursue ahead. I'm trying to do you a service, just as you're trying to do a service for other people. And it seems like our two industries are just opposed to each other, you see? You know,
Well,
like
why don't we-
trying to pierce a wall.
Why don't we try and work together to make that difference?
I'm sorry,
Find some common ground.
that is not what my employers would have me do.
You're independent-minded. I know that. I can tell. You can think for yourself.
I can. That's why I'm willing to have this discussion with you about how it's unsafe for the two of you to continue forward. Now your other two friends can turn and go back the way they were going, or they can come home. Or they can go home.
What if I just hang out here with you?
I can assure you eventually when the rest of the team comes to check in, they're going to be very unhappy with my
Why?
position, and they're going to demand I take action against you.
Pax, I don't think this is the best idea for you to try and stay here and, shall we say, diplomate with the, thing with the wings?
But my diplomacy was so good.
It is so good, and that's why he's not calling for reinforcements.
It's a low bar.
Come on, let's take a walk back to Zoe territory.
Okay.
No, not that direction. Not that direction. Home.
You just said.
I
What's
said that you can head back home. Or you
We're-
can head back to Zoe where you came from. The
We're
two
all
of them.
together.
I'm sorry, I can't trust that.
No, we are. You want to see our business license?
You could be lying to me, and you could be trying to sneak by to bring a cart back from the Dryad territory.
I don't have a cart.
Right, the cart would be
You
in the
see-
Dryad territory, and you would be...
But I'm going to Zoe, and I would like them to come with me.
I don't believe it.
You don't believe
What would help you believe it?
I mean, perhaps if there was some kind of incentive I had...
What about
I
a
could
few
be
gold?
motivated
Would
to
that
look
help?
the other way. I don't know. I mean, if it were just to happen upon the ground, I might have to pick it up, and that might make it so that my vision is a little bit fuzzy during that time.
I just happened to drop 10 gold on the ground, so I think we gotta head out.
They look down at the ground. The two of them look down at the ground. Oh, excuse me, miss. You seem to have dropped your almost nothing in terms of compensation on the ground.
Pax
I
is
dropped
dead.
50
I'm
more
not-
gold.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Pax.
They will then lean down and start collecting the gold, and allow the four of you to go by.
Let's go back to the Zoe territory.
Okay.
Follow me. I want to have a talk for a moment, away from prying ears.
Okay. You guys can have your chat while you walk.
I had an idea. They don't want us to go get a cart to go collect food to deliver food, correct?
Yeah, they don't want the refugees getting food.
Yeah.
at
You
all.
know who else
Terrible.
would like? You know who else would like us to bring them food? The werewolves. And the werewolves aren't getting fed. And if we can't feed the refugees, then there's no way in hell we're ever going to be able to feed the werewolf. What if we go and ask the werewolves to come and help us deliver food to the refugees? Because I'm pretty certain Feyre tastes good.
Do you think they would do that?
I don't know.
Do you have an in with them? You don't think they'll just attack you?
The last time we were there, we were talking to them. We were discussing about helping them get what they needed. Because they are also being starved out.
Yeah, but I don't know. It seems a little hard to trust them.
The enemy of my enemy.
Also,
What do you think, Gelfine?
Yeah, you know some information here, Gelfine, that might help explain why that might be an acceptable thing to do.
Do I entirely remember that information?
I don't know. I guess if you don't, then I guess your character doesn't. But
Oh my god.
Well, I
Draw
mean,
pictures of your notes.
I know there's a werewolf that I happen to know, that had some relation to Burian.
there you go.
So what do you say? We can go to the werewolves, we can get the werewolves, we can get a little more muscle. We don't gotta worry about a bunch of douchebags with wings.
Do you think there are enough werewolves who would help? Enough werewolves who would help combat the number of Feyres there might be?
It's not like we're gonna wipe out the Feyre.
I mean, I wouldn't mind that.
The only difference is now we have to keep a promise to the werewolves as opposing to get our asses wiped by Feyre every time we want to do this. And me personally, not a big fan of get my ass wiped by somebody who's not me. Well, that's not entirely true. But that's a discussion for another time.
That's a
Or
discussion
never.
for no time.
There may never be time for that. I'm willing to try it. I trust you. Feels
Be
like
the
we don't really
first.
have any other options anyway. I mean, I'm feeling kind of desperate about being able to get food to these people. They're so hungry.
Okay. So you guys can head to the werewolves. I will jump back to in a moment. Zug, what are you up to in the meantime?
Well, I mean, I got a few plans. I need to look into the price for setting up the scribe proofness.
Yep.
And I wanted to get those tables and chairs. And I was thinking about trying to expand into the third apartment.
Okay. Well, you know, on both sides you have neighbors. And if I remember from our discussion, you know that your neighbor in the room you want most is adamant about not losing his room space. So let's first look up the cost of lead. And I'm not sure that they even have that in... Maybe they do. No, that would require permanency to do that, and that is stupid expensive. Why can't I just find...
Oh yeah, I was looking at that spell too, like where it makes your room like appear like blackness when somebody tries to look in the window. Yeah, I plan to get that in the far future.
Let's see here. Yeah, I just not fucking want lead. Alright, let me look up what lead's average value is in real life. Cost per pound of lead. Alright, so lead is roughly equal to about $1 a pound on average. And so if we assume that, and we assume gold's comparative current value, since they're both commodities, that would mean that that you'd be able to get like a pound of lead for about, you'd be able to get about 10 pounds of lead to the copper piece.
10 pounds of lead per copper piece?
Yeah, roughly.
That's really cheap.
Yeah, I mean, lead is a very inexpensive thing, but remember, lead is also very dense. So a pound of lead is not a very large quantity of lead. It's just a lot of weight of lead. For example, weight of a 1 square foot sheet of lead. So a 1/8 inch thick 1x3 sheet of lead is 24 pounds. So lead is incredibly, incredibly heavy. So that's the trade-off. Like, it's very cheap, but for every square foot around your room, you're gonna be paying, is it 24 divided by 3 is 8? So you'll be paying about 8 pounds per square foot of your room. And really, you're gonna pay 8 pounds per the external cubic footage of your room. So let's see. Your room right now, let me bring up the rooms real quick. I believe your room is presently like 20 by 30. Hold on. I'm not on the right screen. So let's look at your room here in the apartments. So it is 5, 10, 15, 20. It is 20 by 15. So if we assume 20 times 15, that's 300. So that is the square footage of the room itself. So that would be like to cover the floor in lead, times 0.1. So you'd be looking at like 30 coppers for the floor, and then for the roof, another 30. So, so 60. And then each of the walls would be another 15 times, say 10. So another 150. Add up the total square footage plus 150 plus 150 plus 200 plus 200. So you're looking at, for an 1/8 inch thickness of lead, you're looking at about 100 gold. I'm sorry, 100 copper. And that's for an 1/8 inch. What do you need? Let me see how much lead you need to block out scrying.
Okay.
because we can basically just multiply that by whatever thickness you need, because we know that that's 1/8 of an inch. I gotta do it this way, I guess. I do remember seeing the information in that spell. Hold on. How much I want to say it's like an inch thick, but I don't know, just any sort of lead sheeting. So you should be fine with even the 1/8 inch thick.
Okay.
So that's what it would cost to buy the lead sheets. And there is plenty of lead. The only problem is in this case, you have to be able to get to goblin territory to buy that much lead, and you can't go into goblin territory. So you're going to need to have somebody make that acquisition for you. Now, you can have like your builder guys do that, but you know there's going to be some extra cost they're going to levy on you. You could also have your party members pick it up if you trusted them to get the right measurements. But the decision as to which way you want to do that is up to you.
We don't want to help you anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and contact my my builder guys about this.
You know
I
this
don't
is
know
so you'll
why
have to
we would-
head that way. I'm gonna rule that if you'd like, you can run into the party right at the end of them having a discussion with those Feyre that are on the road.
Sure.
Since
I'll
you're gonna
do
have to
that.
head back the same way. So yeah, as you guys are about to head towards werewolf territory, you see the rest of the you see Zug make his way up to you guys.
What's going on, guys?
We're gonna go talk to some
On a
werewolves.
mission.
Talk to
What
some
a
werewolves
mission?
about kicking some fairy
Okay,
ass.
not like an official mission.
It's official.
We're trying to
officially
make
epic.
sure that the refugees get fed, and so Harcourt thinks that we can get the werewolves involved because they're not getting fed either, and help have the werewolves fight against
we're
the
gonna
Feyre.
feed them to the werewolves?
I mean, hey, I don't know if werewolves would want to eat Feyre. Could that be their food source? That seems very
we're
sustainable.
feeding the refugees to the werewolves, I thought.
No.
No.
No, we're gonna feed fairy to the werewolves.
So Zug, upon hearing this, why don't you go ahead and give me a knowledge law?
Alright.
At the legality of murdering fairy with werewolves.
Okay, so that's not quite high enough to know for certain the legality of this, but you think there's a possibility, but you're not 100% sure. But there's a possibility that because the Feyre are still technically people that have just undergone some sort of transmutation, the Feyre themselves may not be committing a crime by being in town. Just like how the werewolves are not necessarily committing a crime by being in Zo territory. But if there's a deliberate interaction that's like ordained, they can't like feed these Feyre to the werewolves or feed the townspeople to the werewolves. Neither of those are actually legal options. But if during a transport of something, the werewolves were defending themselves, that would theoretically be acceptable, but it would create a very interesting case to have to deal with, and one that you're not exactly sure what the long-term ramifications could be.
So, the Feyre, did they, like, attack you?
Yeah, Meg and I got attacked when we were trying to find out what was going on with the food for the refugees. We had to run away.
Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, legal-wise, like, if they are attacking, then either us or the werewolves can defend ourselves, so.
Yeah, there'll just be some extra protection to help make sure the deliveries happen. Right, Harcourt?
That's what I'm talking about. They help us, we help them.
What's in it for you, Harcourt?
What do you mean, what's in it for me?
We're getting paid, right?
I'd ask her.
No.
I'm helping her.
What?
This is to help refugees. This is not a money-making scheme.
I mean, these refugees got to have some sort of currency or something that they're paying, right?
Do you not know how refugees work?
We could hire out we could use the refugees to do other things with them. Maybe we could use them as, light muscle.
If you pay them, sure.
I thought we
Yeah,
were
we
already
are.
paying them for things.
Yeah, we are paying them for something, aren't we? Some of them.
Yeah.
Weren't they guarding the crazy house?
No,
So
they
that
were
the
watch-
teens don't sneak in to make out?
No, they were watching out for. They were watching out for something.
Well, that's not...
That's very vague and not super helpful,
yeah, that's very
Galfine.
vague and true. Yeah.
I
And they're
don't
just
remember
sitting-
what they were watching for. Okay, I just remember
Check
that they
your
were
notes.
watching.
Check your drawings.
Nobody
I
has
didn't draw
notes.
that.
Nobody has
Yeah.
notes. The campaign exists on the internet and can be rewatched if you needed to recollect notes.
Some of us are working 4 jobs, okay?
So we've got...
We'll do that later.
We're not paying them. They're just sort of sitting in front of Al's, making sure nobody goes in to make out. That's not really
Right,
working.
that's what I was saying.
So they're
No
sitting
one's...
around doing nothing like they normally do, except now they're going to tell us when they see something unusual. That's not work. I'm thinking of actual work.
Like what?
Work. I can discuss that at a later date.
As long
Not
as
exactly
there's...
important right now.
As long as they feel free to agree or...
Well, there were a couple.
As long as they feel free to say yes or no and they're fairly compensated, then it would be okay.
They're refugees. They have nothing. Anything we give
That
them.
doesn't mean you treat them like dirt.
I'm not going to treat them like dirt.
You pay them fairly. They're people.
I'm just not paying them what we're getting paid. That's all.
Why not?
Because that's fair.
That sounds not fair, in fact. I think Meg and I are gonna...
actually going to have a wage dispute right
Yes.
here in the middle of the road?
Yes, socioeconomic political discourse in my campaign. Oh,
I'm gonna
You
start walking towards the werewolves without them.
How about
Okay.
this? How about this? We feed the refugees, then we worry about the payment stuff later on the thing I want them to do for me.
First feeding, but make sure it's optional and we must discuss
No,
wages.
No, because if the answer is no to begin with, we don't gotta pay anybody, so we don't gotta talk about nothing. Let's hoof it.
okay, let me make sure I
And
have
now
the
start
plan
catching up with
correctly.
Galfine.
Let me make sure I have the plan correctly. So you guys are going to the werewolves. You plan to feed the refugees and the Feyre to the werewolves. And then
No.
you're going to charge the werewolves for each portion.
You're being
To collect
ridiculous.
That sounds exactly what the plan is.
Okay,
No.
all right.
It's a viable plan. Maybe not the one we're doing, but that's a viable plan.
Okay, so you guys get back to the werewolf camp. It has been about... It has been a little over... It's been almost a week since last you had been here. Harcourt and Galfine, you notice that the camp looks to be a bit lower in numbers than last time you were here. But Luca is still here, and she comes up to you. She sees you immediately as she's sitting at one of the tables in the camp. I apologize. I haven't worked on remaking the campsite yet, so I'll have a scene for that again later. But she comes rushing up to you, 4 or you 5 as you arrive. Oh, it's good to see you. is everything how's everything been? Has there been any success?
Slowly, very, very slowly. We were wondering if you'd be able to help us with something that might accelerate your issues as well.
Yes, I mean we would be happy to help in whatever means we can, if it means getting food in here.
Well, as you know, one of the things that we've been doing has been shuttling food around. And in order to be able to get around to being able to feed you, we have to be able to feed some refugees. But we have a group of Fairy that's not letting us through.
What's a fairy?
I show her the picture.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they're pretty gross.
And they're keeping us from making those deliveries, which is keeping us from doing other things. We need a little muscle, because they kind of outnumber us.
So...
Also...
Yeah, go ahead.
Nothing.
And... how would we be compensated? Would there be food in it for us if we helped with the deliveries?
If the Fairy fell in the cart after he was killed, I mean... I wouldn't say anything.
Are those demonic creatures, though?
I don't know. They got wings, that's what I know.
Meg does answer that they are demonoids. And the werewolves express, well, it's edible, but their flesh eating... If the stories that some of our people have read about are true, when werewolves consume the flesh of demons or devils, it has a very unique effect on us when it is the time of the full moon. It can be much more difficult to keep ourselves under control by even the means that we have, and sometimes it can start the cycle earlier or later.
When is the full moon?
The next full moon would be... So you guys would actually kind of know this. The rough full moon cycle period is from the 29th to the 2nd. So basically there isn't like a kind of lunar rotation in the same way you might think about. There is a point where the moon is more centered over things, and it is at that time that it is considered the full moon. And that time is when werewolves would be under the least amount of control of themselves.
So what if we did it at times outside of the full moon?
Well, their concern is that consuming the demon flesh will change how their biology reacts to the disease that they're carrying and dealing with.
Oh, I thought they just meant if they did it when it was full moon time.
No, if they do it at any time, it can have... eating a fairy can have negative consequences on them. They think there might be ways. Luca has some theories, but they've never had a situation where there are demons and devils. She thinks perhaps... Perhaps I could use my divine ability to purify some of the meat before we consume it, but I can't make any guarantees for sure. And with as hungry as some of our people are, they may not wait if they're given the taste of blood from combat, if you understand what I'm saying.
Is it knowledge the planes to figure out a way, or is that something we could even do?
You could... this would kind of be a knowledge... I forget what this is. I don't think it's planes. Well, actually,
Good, I don't have that one.
Knowledge of the planes could be relevant. Let me have Charles make one roll, because it could be... It could potentially be relevant. Nope. Charles has no idea.
Alright.
Would I know anything?
What knowledges do you have? Well, I guess you can make a knowledge of the planes check. Also, if anybody had profession cooking.
Oh yes, let me just roll that real quick.
Would knowledge local help or no?
Well, I mean,
No,
we've had
knowledge
characters in
local.
the past with
knowledge
professional cooking,
nature.
Knowledge nature would not be relevant here because this you need to
Okay.
understand the chemistry of I love how you both end up with the exact same roll.
Great.
Just in different numbers. So yeah, neither of you is quite sure like what kind of negative ramifications eating a demon could have on physiology. Bless you.
The long and the short, whether you take Feyre like that, either we can't feed these people, we can't get around to feeding you people.
Well, there
My
could be
dilemma.
the arrangement with Rezix for us. Getting meat from them would be of much greater benefit. We're not of much help if we don't eat. We are all in very poor shape. The shipments that are supposed to come from Rezix have not been coming through, and we've lost people to those shipments coming through. Some of our people have gotten very hungry, and it's very hard to maintain normal thinking when you get as hungry as they have. And so some of them have gone out, and it's caused the shipments not to pass through here. It's caused us to lose people to trying to take what shipments have. We're dealing with such a significant problem.
Hey, who wants to keep heading east? I hear there's a butcher that direction. Anybody? Anybody? Mic check.
I hear you.
I don't know what to do.
Well, I see a lot of usable muscle around here. And we could use them to feed your refugees if we could partially solve their problem right now.
Yes,
We're gonna feed the werewolves to the refugees?
No.
Luca looks at you a little bit concerned with your line of thinking.
He's the more goblin-y of our goblins, so give him a little space.
Not a thing.
So, you want to go talk to the butcher and see if we can get a shipment through here?
Okay.
Okay.
Anybody opposed to that?
Could I appraise to see what sort of money these werewolves might have?
Sure.
Botch, of course.
Oh man, they look. By the way, that is 3 fucking 9s in a row. Oh, that's so bad. And in entirely different
We
orders
know,
across the
thank
board.
you.
It's amazing. Such randomness. Much
Screw roll
wow.
20.
So yeah, you think? I mean, they could just as easily be loaded here and just trying to hide it. It doesn't look like there's much of value here, but that's exactly the thing that people would do when they have a lot of money and they don't want you to know how much they have.
All right, guys, I think these werewolves might be hoarding a bunch of cash, so maybe we reroute some of these food shipments from the refugees to the werewolves instead and
Nope.
get some money.
Nope.
Deal?
I don't think so, but you never know. I'm going to say from what I know just by looking around, I'd say that answer's no, but we'll trust you on this one.
I got a sixth sense for these things. I'm feeling it.
More like a ninth sense.
But the long and the short, honestly, let's head to the butchers and see if we can get something into here to help them. If we can help them right now, they'll help us. Besides, maybe somebody knows where those rings are. Has anybody else got a lead on those?
No, I messaged you back.
The metagamey information just doesn't want to pass to you, James.
I don't know. Mine says bottle message 2. Hers just says nope.
All right. So you guys make your way to the butcher. Tom, while you're here, you can also make a. If you want to go with them to the butcher, you can, or you could make an excursion off to meet your guys here, to get the lead arrangement set up, and then meet them back once they finish with the butcher.
Yep. Hey guys, I got some business to take care of. I'll meet you back here fairly soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Alright, so I'm gonna do Zug's stuff real quick, and then we'll jump back to you guys with the butcher. So Zug, you meet with your guys. They are actually, this time, kind of standing around that address when you arrive. If it isn't our favorite goblin friend, how you doing?
Doing good.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I got some more work for you guys.
What do you got?
So I'm thinking about getting lead sheets put up around the entirety of the place.
That's a heavy task.
I'm sure you guys can handle it.
Heavy.
Definitely want lad. You definitely want it to be lead?
Yep.
Okay. Are you able to, do you already have the lead, or do you need it picked up?
Yeah, I would need it picked up.
Alright, Well, the last person who asked about this is a off-the-books thing too, right?
It is.
Alright, moving that much lead usually creates an inquiry. We did a lead job like this before. Not as big as your room though. What could I do here?
Did I have a window in my room?
You do. Yes, you actually have two now.
So what is that? I know that there's that like lead glass. What is that actually called? Lead crystal? Is that what it is?
It's just lead glass. There is lead-lined glass.
Okay.
So this is gonna be a bit difficult. That's a lot of lead to track through. No. That's a lot of lead.
And then I also have whatever.
I'll tell you, we're gonna have to discuss this for a little bit. I'm gonna have to reach out to some of the other guys and see if I can work out a way to get that through. It might be a few days. Is this a urgent project or?
No, not super urgent.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'll follow back up with you by the 21st, and if you don't hear from me, if you don't hear from us, then come see us.
All right.
All right. So the rest of you are here at the butcher. You can come in, and this is a pretty easy spot to deal with. It's open to anybody who is not an exile from House Rurik, or House Resix rather. It is run by a handful of halflings and a couple of humans. You can see a lot of the halflings behind the counter, the human behind like the cashier counter, and then all throughout there's like various like points where there is chopped up bits of meat and other things on display for purchase, and that is mostly done by the humans that are here, rather stocky human men.
Would like to discuss the possibility of getting a shipment of meat to some friends of ours in the Zoe territory.
how large a shipment? Like you're looking to do a catering thing, or
A couple, 3 days worth of food.
how many people?
How many people were there? Do you remember?
There are. Let's see how many are left here. $22 people left, roughly.
It's about 20, 25.
That's a
Really?
that's a tall order. Are you in distribution?
Yes.
More like delivery.
Who's your distribution contact?
We don't really have one.
So you want to take 3 days worth of food for 30 people.
20, 25, not 30.
Well, round up, right? To Zoe territory without proper permits from Zoe, Rezix, or the Ministry of Trade. Is that, and you want to do so by exchanging money for it? Is that correct, or?
I would assume that's how that works.
So, I don't know who you were trying to feed over there. There's a lot of very underprivileged people in House So. But unfortunately, once you start getting into like the hundreds of pounds of food, there's certain laws that kick into place that we have to deal with. And so you'll need the proper permitting from House So and House Rezix, as well as you'll have to have the proper licensing from the Ministry of Trade. Now, if you have a distribution contact that you can speak with, then that will at least help you to some degree, because perhaps you can work with a trade vendor to ensure that the distribution company has these deliveries fulfilled for whomever it is that you'd like to, if you're looking to do an ongoing thing. But if you're trying to start business for yourself, your best bet is probably going to be do a little research and then visit the Ministry of Trade.
Okay, how about this? What if I just say I wanted to outright buy that much food right here, right now? I just want to take it.
So
I just want to take it.
we're going to have to arrange a Ministry of Trade agreement in this particular case. That means I would have to have one of the members of the ministry come here and certify that this exchange is specifically for your personal consumption, or your personal and family's consumption, or for perhaps like some large event that you were throwing, but you need to get the proper event paperwork.
Oh my gosh.
And then once you had done so, we can have you sign the paperwork and release the meat to you. But again,
Is there
once we reach-
anything that makes this process easier? Like any shortcut?
Unfortunately not. I'm not sure if you've lived here for very long, but I'm assuming since you're here now, you were born here. So I would assume you would understand that these things get very complicated when you get to larger scale things that involve house-to-house transactions.
Can I just buy a cow?
Ooh, certainly. If you want, you're gonna need a permit to show that you have the proper land, and then once you do, that'll be about 35,000 gold.
What kind of food
For a cow?
Yes.
can you get
If
without
it's
a
a breeding
permit?
stock, if you'd like to buy it as non-breeding stock, one that is potentially too old, we can sell those in the range of around 2,000.
What kind of food can you move and get without a permit?
Oh, you can buy food without a permit. It's just about the quantity.
So
What's
can
the
we?
most? Wait. What is the most food one person can buy without a permit?
You can buy roughly 50 pounds of a specific type of meat without needing to buy a permit, as long as you do not buy more than 200 pounds of meat.
In what time
Or I'm
period?
sorry, you can
Like,
buy 50 pounds or less, as long as you don't buy more than 200 pounds
Within a
combined.
time period.
Yes,
Oh, combined.
combined.
And you can do this like every day.
If we see a lot of repeat transactions, it is supposed to be our responsibility to report those repeat transactions to the Ministry of Trade.
What if we just like making jerky?
If you're producing that much jerky, you have intent to sell.
That sounds very criminalizing.
Yes. As the family that works in meat distribution, we're very interested to make sure our livelihood is not taken out from under us. So the law exists to protect our family from being overtaken by any other family that could just off us if they wish to, and become the next big meat family.
Somebody should legalize recreational meat.
Sounds like it.
This meat for business purposes sounds like a racket. So how much would 50 pounds of a specific meat cost me?
Let's see what meat costs. So meat is sold by the pound, and it is at double the normal price for meat in the PHB. So like generic common meat is about 6 silver per half pound. And it can go up from there depending upon the meat that you're getting.
What if we get not meat? What if we feed them vegetables and fruit and grains?
Then why are we at a butcher?
I mean,
You forget
I
who we're
think,
trying to feed?
well, the people I'm trying to feed could eat
Is not going
vegetarian.
to get fed if we can't feed the people we're trying to feed. And if we want to have this conversation, I'd like to step outside because I'm done having conversations in front of other people.
I don't even know what to do with this. Seems like
Let's
we're
take a
never
step
gonna-
outside. Could you excuse me a moment, sir, while we...
Certainly, I understand there's a lot to
converse
discuss.
with my associate. Thank you. We step outside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Meg, you coming?
By about this time, Zug, you'll be getting back to the rest of the group. Meg comes out. Meg steps out with you.
Okay, so if we can't get a shipment, which would be way more than we can afford at this point anyways, considering that a cow costs 35,000 gold, which I don't know how that works. Maybe if we buy 50 pounds a person, at least for today, that might help. Because 50 pounds of meat divided amongst 20 people is over a pound of meat, is 2 pounds of meat per person.
Yeah,
I know
it's
they're
something.
werewolves and they're probably going to eat a little more than that, but combined, what, the 5 of us? We could easily hit his 200-pound mark without drawing attention to ourselves.
I mean, I think we've already drawn attention to ourselves,
This is true.
but I'm fine. Just at least for today. I mean,
How much does this meat cost? Because if we're not getting any sorts of rewards,
6 silver per half pound.
intrinsic rewards.
I don't know, man. I think we should go find some free meat.
That's not a thing.
We tried that part, remember? They turned that part down. They're not too hip on the free meat concept, which I was all for. But yes, you're right. We're not getting paid because we're doing a side mission to finish her mission so she can go do something and not get paid for it. You're totally right. Me personally, I'm looking for rings and a jewel. And if I gotta sit around to keep delivering food till I can find said items, then I need to help you guys get this done so we can push forward. Because I'd really like to get this whole out of time thing straightened out. Mic check.
I said I'm fine buying the 50 pounds for today, at least. I mean, even if we could get one delivery of food to the refugees, it would help for now. Even if it's not a long-term solution, it's something.
Delphine,
I'm fine with that.
Meg.
Meg is fine. Meg agrees with that.
I mean, you don't gotta help, Zug. I'm not pushing. I understand your position.
And he's
Yeah, I
being
mean-
selfish.
Favors is all I have to work with right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's absolutely no benefit to doing that, so,
Be a good
I
person
understand.
for once. Come
I
on.
understand, Zug.
Take care of your fellow creature.
If you currently do not need assistance with anything, I fully understand why you do not want to aid us. Or I should say, aid whoever
And he
we are
assumes
helping out.
he'll never need assistance in the future, I guess.
That's not how your mentality should work. You're feeding people who aren't paying us. So if he comes to us and says, I need help, we help him. Because that's what you want us to do. Now you either agree with his argument or we agree with your argument.
Seems
I'm
like
not going
nobody agrees.
Just saying. You can't go both ways.
I'm doing what I'm doing. Whoever's coming with, great, but I don't really care anymore.
All right, let's go buy meat.
Just buy this meat.
Okay. So how much meat are you buying?
Well, we've got 4 of us, and Zug isn't going to participate, so that hits our 200-pound mark. 50 pounds a person.
Okay. So that is, I'm sorry, 300 silvers each.
Sorry, how... so if I need 4 more silvers, that would be how much in copper and gold?
That would be 40 copper.
Okay.
40 copper.
What's 300 silver and copper?
Yeah, because it's 4 copper would be 40 copper would be 4 silver. It's 10 to the next
I
step.
know. I just couldn't figure it out.
10
wait, is
copper, 10 copper equals 10 silver, which equals 10 gold.
No.
I'm sorry, 10 copper
equals
equals 1 silver, which, and then 10 silver equals 1 gold, and 10 gold equals 1 platinum.
So does that
So
mean...
it's 30 gold apiece.
It would be 30 gold apiece, yes. That is the gold cost for it.
Does 3,000 copper equals 300 silver?
3,000 copper equals 300 silver, that is correct.
So I can just give him 300 copper.
If you,
3,000 copper.
you have knowledge law, correct?
Yeah.
Give me a knowledge law check for you specifically. Okay. You know that technically, if you have enough gold on hand to complete this transaction, you're required to make the exchange in gold.
So that...
So can I say I didn't know that because I just did it?
That's
in
fine.
silver
Yeah,
and
it's
copper?
fine if you don't know that, and you'd have to be caught doing it. It matters only if you are of a specific alignment and trying to maintain that alignment.
Okay. So that's 3 gold then? No, wait,
it would be
30
30
gold.
gold.
I can add. Sometimes. Alright.
Okay. You have 200 pounds of meat.
Okay, next question to you, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Do you rent carts?
Oh, I'm sorry, we do not. I can give you a couple of sacks for those to carry.
Hey, Gelfine, how
much
many
weight
pounds
can
can
you
you
have?
carry?
Hang on, I gotta see what I'm at currently.
I can
I
split
mean,
some
she
of
could
that
definitely
weight.
drag 200 pounds.
I think
Maybe
she
not
can
carry, but-
200 pounds if I remember right.
Very possible, very possible. But 100% can drag it.
So Galfine, on your character sheet, that is your heavy load is 300 pounds. You're currently carrying 102 pounds. So you would be You would be having trouble. Like, you can lift it off the ground and you can carry it, but you would be moving very slow to do so. That's under your additional down here down at the bottom. So your current medium load is 102 pounds. Oh, you've actually got your 50 pounds already on there. So
Yeah, I've got my 50.
Change your 50 to 200 and you can see what happens.
Or change the quantity.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm at a medium load. I could easily hoof about 100 pounds of
Yeah,
that.
well, she can carry the whole thing technically, and
Okay.
just deal with the speed reduction.
That's fine. Yeah, because if push comes to shove, if we need to move a little faster, I guess.
Yeah.
My medium load tops out at 116, and I'm only at 61.
Yeah. No, you guys can get the meat back without the cart.
Okay.
How are you guys getting there?
By the way we came.
Walking.
Right.
We're flying.
Which route? Somebody draw out for me the route that you're taking to bring the meat back.
I'm assuming we followed the main road.
Okay. So you want to take the main road?
Because I don't know of any other road.
Give me an intel check. I know it's been a while since we did this, so I'll give you an intel check.
Okay.
All of us or just him?
All of you, if nobody remembers what happened in the first 4 sessions.
So we got jacked.
Okay. So on an intel check, you remember that if you're carrying a large amount of goods through the front gate of Zoe territory, and across area lines, you'll have to pay fees for the amount of weight that you're carrying. But you also know the route that you guys made an alternative to, which was to go through Rezix and take the route that takes you into Zoe territory directly. The route that you guys specifically used to make the trade happen the 3rd time. And the 4th time.
Yeah, let's take the back road. That way
Makes sense.
we don't gotta fuck around with Zoe guards. Because
Okay.
fuck Zoe.
Alright, so you guys managed to take the back route. There is only one check I need to do here.
See if we're dead.
Alright, I'm gonna take you
We
guys
fall into a
to...
pit and die.
Don't say that. Don't give him ideas.
Alright, there are not Feyre in this encounter, so give me a sec to set up the map. In fact, let's take a short break, and then we'll discuss what's happening here.
Alright.
We'll be back.
Oh dear.
Sounds good. I'm ready for some coffee, and I wanted to get a waffle real quick.